So I'm pretty tired tonight. It's been a really hot day. I woke up several times early this morning. I actually heard a crash before I went to the bed, and when I woke up a couple of hours after I went to sleep, they were still cleaning it up, and none of the electricity worked, sort of thing. So I sort of just freshened myself up, and then I went back to sleep, and then I woke up early again, and then I had to go do what I needed to do this morning, on my computer. And then I went back to bed. I snoozed for like half an hour before the renovations person came. And they started working on the bathroom. And then, I lazily laid in bed for another hour or so. And then I finally couldn't stand it in bed anymore. And I was feeling like really weird. And so I got up because I was feeling nauseated laying in bed. And then I sort of, got dressed and was hanging around the house a bit. And then I ended up getting busy on my computer again. And then by 12 o'clock, I realized I was alone in the house. And no one had said goodbye or anything, but that's cool. I just assumed that the people who were doing the renovations had finished, because I looked around and saw that there was pretty much everything's done. So I said, yeah, now I can go for a walk. So I packed up my stuff and I went to the the post box, and I also went to the chemist, and I also picked up some lunch. And the lunch was so disappointing. It was like off, like the bread was stale, and I had a burger. So I was like, oh, that's like the worst burger I've had ever since I've ever been going to that store. And I was like, oh, that was a huge waste of money. So I felt bad for spending the money a little bit, because I probably would have preferred something from the supermarket, like a couple of drinks and a pasta salad or something, and that's like, what, $5. So that's a lot less than the other one, which was like $12, and I probably would have enjoyed it more because it'd be actually fresh. So I was disappointed in my choice of lunch. I think going to the supermarket and buying something special or delicious is like a lot cheaper and a lot better than like going to a fast food restaurant to order something. So, but saying that, I usually do go to these kinds of restaurants, once every while, like once in a blue moon sort of thing. But I was really disappointed with the lunch. I said I don't want to go there anymore. So, because I felt disappointed in what I'd eaten. So I probably won't go back there again. I've got these vouchers for like a free side, and I said, oh, okay, well, maybe if relatives come up early, I will go again to pick something like that up. But I don't feel like going back. I don't really like it very much. So, but yeah, no, but I've been feeling like kind of weird because I've been inside the house so much, while waiting for the renovations to get through, to finish. And I sort of feel nauseated when I'm inside a lot. So I've been sort of feeling like I really need to get out a bit. True enough, I'm going to go to the city probably on Monday, but so that's, a good hour, no, 30 minutes, and transport. So but I just felt like, with all the heat and the stuffiness inside a house, I was just like thinking, I'm through sitting indoors, because I've been getting dizzy, and I don't like to feel dizzy, and I feel kind of weird and weak, and I feel like I really want to just go outside and forget about the house. And sometimes I feel that way when I'm outside too. That's when I come back and think, oh, if it's just going to be the same kind of feeling, I'm going to lay here. But sometimes I do escape that kind of feeling, especially when I'm around stores. So, but yeah, I was just thinking, I hated that restaurant, and I've been feeling funny all day, and I've been drinking lots to combat these feelings. But I'm working now, so I can afford to make mistakes with lunch and not feel too bad about it. But I wish it had been a perfect lunch, but I felt like it was like one of the worst lunches ever, so, but I'm getting through. I'm getting through. I have high hopes for myself in my near future because I've got a good income coming in, and I think I'll be able to spend a bit more on stuff. So I might do some things that I haven't done in a while, or do things that are expensive or something. So because that's what you do. You go out and splurge. I won't splurge too much because but I can, I can splurge. If I want ice cream, I just need to go buy it or whatever. I don't have to be so careful with my money, but I'm really. But I was kind of a little bit distressed a couple of times today, but not as distressed as the birds outside. I saw like one down the street and they looked like so hot and overheated. And I did go to buy them some food, and they weren't around when I came back, so I felt kind of bad that I missed them, but I guess birds do look overheated a lot, but they really looked like they needed a snack, and they looked like they needed a bath, but I'll just let the birds do what they like. I mean, they're normally snacking on bugs, and then they find, someone's dropped something, there's always stuff to snack on, so I don't think they're going to starve or anything. I just noticed that they look completely undone now that the heat is on, and same with the birds around our house. They look completely undone. The person I live with, they found a bird just standing, looking weird, and they were just standing still with their mouth gaping open, and they said, oh, it looked like they were going to fall over. And so she kept put water, but she's going to buy a bird bath now so the birds can, have a dip whenever they feel like it. Because she does know, like, in summer it gets really hot, and birds get hot too, so that will be like a relief for her, because she doesn't like to see birds looking dehydrated and weird, in the garden. So she said she'd rather have like a bird bath there to make sure that they don't look like that. Otherwise, she gets afraid that they're going to faint or something. So, but yeah. But birds feel the heat. Even I feel the heat, like indoors. You need like all these fans on. And I don't know how expensive they're going to be. I don't want to like be asked for like $300 because there's a $500 fan bill. I don't want that to happen. So I try to reduce my usage. But this week, while the other people have been here, it's just been on full blast. But I think an hour a day is reasonable for a fan to help cope with the hottest parts of the day. So I think I'm going to reduce it to an hour a day and hope that it does not need to come out of my wallet because the electricity bill's boosted up. So I've been asked for money quite a few times, and I don't want to have to pay for this because I could do without. I mean, with the windows open, it's kind of cool anyways. But yeah, I definitely don't want to be asked for money. So, and I don't want to spend like $300 of my earnings just because the fan's been on. I don't want that. So I'm gonna try not to use it very much. But yeah, you definitely need to use it sometimes. Like, especially when you come back from outside from a walk, you're very hot, and especially like at night. When you're trying to sleep, it's very hot. You need a little bit of dehumidifying. So you put the fan on for a little bit before you go to sleep. But yeah. Those are some of my thoughts for the day. I'm actually quite happy. I'm happy with my new job. I'm not happy with the heat. I mean, I'm sweating like through my clothes, but and I didn't get like over half my last order, but I'm happy in general. I'm glad that things have picked up. I'm not glad about everything. I mean, I did miss a really great interview, and I feel really bad about it. But in fact, I missed 3 great interviews, and I feel really bad about it. But the last one, I felt like really bad because it was in a really good location, like Central City, really good, But I knew I already had a job from home, so I didn't freak out by missing it. So I already knew that I would be working, and I'm really happy with it. But I also missed out on, I think, a good opportunity. But if it's like a really like I've said before, if it was a really crappy job and I didn't miss out on anything, I'm glad I missed it. But if it's like a really great job and I missed it, I'd be like, oh, I could have gone there and I should have gone there, and I feel really bad that I missed it. But time will move on. I'm really happy, though, with my job. It really suits me. But I don't know where it's gonna lead. Is the only thing. I don't know how long it's gonna go for, or what happens, later on. But I just do it day by day, discovering the ins and outs every time. And I just see how it goes, So, but it's really good. I mean, I really enjoy it, and I love the prospect of earning a good wage, rather than, scrimping around a job that hardly pays you what you earn, which is what I was doing before I got this job. So I'm really glad that I've got some income coming in, because I am feeling the pressure of needing to escape my parents' support. I'm really they really just want me to put my bags and leave, but they don't want me to leave, just leave. They want me to leave and be able to leave and live without them forever, So they're patiently waiting for me to be financially stable, I guess it's the right word. But it's really hard on me because, we're like a grown-up family and they don't want me around forever. And they've already told me this like several years ago before, I lost my money. But they've had to relive their nightmare of putting up with me for a little bit longer while I get myself together for another time. So I've really had to make up for 10 years of financial loss, or 5 years of direct financial loss. But yeah, I've been losing money for 10 years because I was losing money before. I lost my last load of money. I was finding it hard and to get new employment, and I was losing money then too. So I didn't have the clean lose one job, get another job. I had lose one job, no idea what I'm doing. I find new jobs hard to get, and I have to study. I get some support for studying, and then I get a job, and then I get a job, and yeah, etc. So all that waiting, those waiting breaks, hasn't helped me to gain financial freedom. So there's been a lot of waiting, and it sort of struck me quite hard once you realize that other people are doing so well and you're not. So and it struck me hard because I've been really needing out of my family since I was very young, and I was putting up with some abuse. It's not so bad now, but I was putting up with unhealthy communications and stuff, and people thinking bad of me, and trying to harm me and stuff, and just just a constant negative attitude towards me, sort of thing. And then so I get sick of all that, all that, just because they don't want me living with them, all that negativity, all the stiffness, all the jolted attitudes, personality switches, whatever. So, I get sick of it. I already knew I was sick of it, but I just didn't have, when they wanted me to bump off because they heard I got some money, and I bumped off way too early. That was very negative for me, So, I bumped right off into poverty because I wasn't ready, And they were like, "Oh, but I've heard you got money, so now you can bump off, and move on." And, it's like, let's move you on, And they don't realize that I'm totally unstable financially, and they push me to move me on. I move on, and then I fall into poverty, I lose all my money. So that's sort of what happened. They're trying to make me think, oh, independence is great, my own life, live away from everyone, not be disturbed by anyone, just see them every once in a while and stuff. They're trying to think, oh, that's like you need to break from other people, you need to be alone, you need to discover yourself, whatever. They want you to do all these things, but then, if you're not ready and they bump you off, it's putting you in a decrepit position. And that's what happened. That's how I lost all my money. So, and that breaks my mind, breaks my dreams, breaks my hopes, and makes me fear, that I won't ever have any money, and almost put me in a dire situation, which could have totally wrecked my life. I could have been put directly into poverty and stayed there, but I managed to swing onto another person's home, and they're supporting me. So, so that was lucky for me, but I didn't like that fall, because I felt like before that I was almost like feeling like I would be like okay financially, like it was my secret that I might be okay, like I've been through the hardest of times. Now I just have to sit and wait for me to be secure so that I can go off and buy my own place, but it didn't go that way, yeah, so a lot of negativity in the past, 5 years. But if my new job goes well, I think I might be able to move on finally. If it lasts a long time. If it doesn't last a long time, it'd be just like, okay, that was a good job, but it didn't last long enough. But if it lasts a long time, I'd be like, see, I'd be like, be able to move past and move into the life my parents had wanted 10 years ago, But now, perfect time, because I'm totally an adult and I totally shouldn't be living with anyone, and I totally should have my own life, So, yeah. So, yeah. That'd be like so great if things worked out, but I don't know if they will, but it'd be great. I mean, the prospect is great. So I'm sort of, if it comes closer to the time when I can, I have to wait around like a few months, like 6 months, to see how it goes with this job. But if after a year everything's fine, then I'll be able to move you off, and that's like, 10 years of financial loss recovering, easily. I'll be like, oh, that's so great. I'm finally recovering. I should have recovered like ages ago, but I didn't because I was unlucky. But if I do now, I'll be like, so it'd be so great, because it's exactly what I need to be able to move on and live my own life, and whatever. So, so I'm kind of excited, but I'm not counting my chickens, because often something comes up. Either you get fired or the job turns into a weird job, which, totally disconnects you. So it's like one of those jobs which just disappear, out of your hands. Or whatever, So I'm not counting my chickens. I do realize it's a nice prospect, but I'm not holding my breath and saying, oh, well, I'm going to buy like this house and it's going to be so awesome and I'm going to have this and this and furniture, I'm not I'm not thinking too far ahead. I'm just realizing the prospect will slowly be able to open if I continue on in this way. But like I said, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'll have to wait and see, so. But I'll be so happy, like, if I get through this, and I'll be like, okay, my brain's almost gone, but if I get through this and move on, I'll be like, oh, it's so great, but yeah. It'd be so awesome, like, it's everything I've always wanted. But like I said, I can't be too hopeful, because often things go wrong and something happens and I lose everything. So, but I just think it's really cool. Yeah. So I'm really happy. I'm really happy this week. Like, I was talking to someone today and they're like, oh, you sound really happy. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I know. I have every reason to be happy because of my job and, everything. So it's going so well. And they're like, oh, wow. It does sound like you're happy. And so I think it's like blossoming through my attitude that I'm getting something good, right now. So, and so that's good for me. People thinking better of me and stuff. So, but yeah, I just have to wait and see about all these things, because, like I said, if I lose this job tomorrow, I need to get a new one, and I'm often sitting around waiting for it. It doesn't just come; it just comes sometime. And I don't know when. So, yeah. So I'm just but I'm really happy, right now. So very positive, despite the weather and the heat and the sweat. It's like just total a good positive energy, I think, is coming out from me. So yeah, I would say, despite the waiting around and the feeling that you might not ever succeed, I think something could be working out finally. So, and that would be very good for me. I can celebrate with a holiday. No, I don't know. I can celebrate somehow with loads of drinks if the weather continues to be so hot. Because it's like so hot and humid, it's like not funny. I had to bring a fan into my room today, right? And it wasn't the long fan that I had wanted, because I assumed that it's going to be used on Christmas Day. So I said, oh, I may as well just put the short fan in. I don't have much space anyway, so that's what I did. Yep. What was that? Oh, it's my folder. Get off the floor. So yeah.